Ohio State. See? Get that Greg guy off the channel. Let's bring back the star. What's up everybody, this is Scott and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. As you may have noticed, our camera quality's gotten a little bit better, as well as our audio. I've been doing a little bit of audio engineering to make sure that you get the best vocals you possibly can in our reviews, and honestly try to make Greg sound a little bit better. Jeez, that guy. Anyway, today's video is going to be a Yi M1 camera review. I was super excited about this camera because I thought, ooh, I can get a nice 4K camera that I can put in the studio. That way you can see all the glistening things that I have in the background in super vibrant 4K. However, that may not necessarily be the case because this camera has some substantial issues. So I chose the Yi Very Silver mirrorless camera, as you can see here. Yi stands for Young Innovators, which again, I am all about the young innovators. I am all about innovation in terms of my life, home automation, all the stuff that we review for you guys in and around technology. So this really spoke to me. Plus, it was really cheap to get in the whole mirrorless camera game. So I'm going to talk to you exactly why I got this camera. It had nothing to do with the photography aspect of it. I am looking for a camera for my studio. All videos on this channel up until last week on Greg's video were filmed with a C920 webcam. And while that webcam is really great, I am trying to increase the quality of video for this channel. I'm trying to raise that quality and try to keep a little bit of coin in my pocket to do so. That's why the Yi M1 spoke to me. And from all the reviews that I've read, they say this is a great camera for a beginner to get started in that. Plus the actual video quality was really decent, or really good in some instances. But I didn't have that as the experience that I had. So with that being said, kind of take this review as a YouTuber trying to find a camera for his studio, not so much some random schmo in Ohio trying to get into photography. So now that we have that level set, remember, I am not a professional at really anything, but I am definitely not a professional photographer. So keep this in mind that I'm doing this from the perspective of very basic photography, really more interested in the video. So some really basic statistics on the actual camera itself. Comes with a 3-inch LCD on the back that is touchscreen, which made the transition from a phone like that I have and do all my B-roll on to something like this really easy. Comes with a micro USB SD card slot and a micro HDMI slot. Battery, standard tripod mount that you'll find on the bottom of the camera. It does come with a 900 milliamp battery, which they say it takes about 3 hours to charge, but honestly, because of one particular massive issue that I had with this camera, I never went fully down to 0 and all the way up. I went fully down to 0 and in the box to go back to Yi. There is a hot shoe mount that's right on the top. Basically, you could put some type of flash on the top. However, it does not have a 3.5 millimeter jack for audio, which means you have to figure out how to do your audio outside the camera. No Rode video mic that you can plug into the top and actually get a good shotgun mic. Not on the Yi M1, that just doesn't exist. It is a micro four thirds camera, which means that you can put a hell of a lot of different lenses on it, and just the one lens that I got was more than enough for me for what I was trying to do with it. However, they say that you could have any type of combination of up to 50 different camera lenses, but again, that is way outside of my comfort zone. So like I said, I picked up the silver one. It is super minimal, super clean. I really love the look of it. However, it is pretty much all plastic. It does have a really nice rubber handle on the one side, which means it was kind of grippy. It felt really nice in hand. The overall camera itself felt really good in hand, but again, it was the performance that was the big issue for me. From an overall look perspective, this camera looked fabulous. Right off the bat was the focus. The focus had been talked about on tons of different Amazon reviews, and even with software version 2.0 or firmware version 2.0, it was still an issue. The focus was just still really awful. Even in good light, I had a hard time getting the things to focus. The camera just felt like it was trying to focus on something behind the object that I was attempting to focus on, like a flower in some of the images that you can see or have seen. Honestly, I thought I could get past that. I thought, you know what? I'm going to mostly be using this for video. I can do the whole manual focus thing, and that way I don't have to worry about it. And maybe with some firmware updates, they'll fix that issue with the autofocus. But honestly, when the autofocus was on, most of the time, again, it focused on something in the distance, and it really had a hard time focusing in on the actual object at hand. That included from photography and also the videography. and also the video aspect of things. One of the quick ways that I was able to get the camera back in focus was me waving my hand, and the autofocus was like, oh, hey, I definitely got to work. Let me focus on that subject. Again, a bit of a workaround, but when I'm spending $300-400 on a camera, it should automatically do that. And my Pixel already does that now, so I would imagine that they could do that. Keeping in mind that I bought this from an actual video perspective, when I fired up the video, I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get nice, crisp 4K, but I don't want just 4K. What I actually want is 1080p at 60 frames a second, because I just like the smooth look of that. But the biggest issue that I read about was this weird flickering that sometimes the 4K setting had on it. But I experienced that exact same thing, and you can see here that even when we were filming Greg's video, it had a really hard time making sure that the white balance stayed balanced? Sure, that's the proper term. But it flickered. It was really, really annoying. We almost had to use that, but I can always imagine that you guys would have been like, what's wrong with Greg? Why is he flickering? That beard is too glorious to keep flickering. And I agree. The beard is glorious. Super frustrating is I have no idea why that white balance was that way. I was trying to figure out if I can just manually change the white balance, but no matter what setting that I did, this was the best result. And you can see that it just simply was not good. It was unusable. The quality of the actual photos on the M1 were pretty good. They're actually clearly not the best, but I want to do a comparison because I can't take a Sony A6000 and say, hey, let's use this camera compared to the Yi M1. It's simply not fair. So I decided to take my Pixel and take a photo with my Pixel and take a photo with the Yi M1, and the results that you see right here, you can see that me personally, I prefer the actual vibrant colors out of the Pixel XL, which means my camera on my phone is better than the camera that's a camera. That's a bit disheartening. Overall, the camera was beautiful. I wanted to desperately love this because it is a great price point and has tons of potential. But honestly, I cannot use this for a studio camera. I thought maybe that I could get around some of its little quirks, but simply I don't know what to expect with this camera. I don't know if I can fire up 4K or 1080p at 60 frames a second and get good high quality images with correct white balance, and I can't keep checking. That adds too much time for somebody to actually put this into production. Therefore, I can't recommend this camera at all for even photography. Take the time, pocket the money, save up a little bit more, get yourself a Sony, get yourself a Nikon, get yourself a Canon. Yi, I wanted to love your camera. Please send me another unit if you think that I got this wrong. I will be more than happy to test this, but I can't take my money and buy a camera that I simply can't trust whether it's going to be reliable or not. So yeah, don't buy the camera. Well, that's it. That's everything. That's what I have. Again, long story short, save your money, buy a Nikon, buy a Canon, buy a Sony. Don't buy the Yi M1. Again, Yi, if you want to send me a unit, I will gladly test it, but I'm going to keep my money in my pocket for this one and maybe just use my dad's camera. Dad's pretty awesome if you're watching this, Dad. Dad. Awesome guy. Well, that's it. That's all I have. Again, thanks for watching. The giveaway winner was announced yesterday for the Google Home, so congratulations. Again, thank you all so much for watching and subscribing. Our channel is blowing up. Thank you. This is a super exciting time for us here at Technically Speaking. And as always, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment below, and we will see you guys on our live show every Friday. Thanks.